In the last section, we built a fully functional mean-stack Hello World application. We covered a lot of ground and technologies. Don't worry if they don't yet make sense. They will start coming together. This is the second of an 8-section course on the mean stack. Over the next 5 videos, we're going to be introducing you to the application you're going to build, how to build a basic dashboard, and how to add data to the system. We will also introduce you to back-end list development. This is going to actually leverage some of the E2E testing libraries while the application is running. This is the first video in this section, and in this video we will be reviewing the completed application you're going to build and the types of features you'll be leveraging to build it. Now that you have an introduction to the mean stack, let's take a look at the application we're going to build. In a sentence, we are going to build an ordering system. Because of time constraints, it's not going to be so complete that you could put it into production, but it's going to cover almost every feature you would use. Let's start with the dashboard. Any business system is going to eventually require dashboard analytics for management at a minimum. Dashboards contain a lot of different types of data, but often show that data in 2 basic ways: graphs and lists. We are going to cover how you would do both. The first thing you see when loading up the application is a graph showing the monthly sales revenue. Along the y-axis, pay close attention to the scale. Some of the months are peaking at the bottom of the x-axis. That doesn't mean $0 in sales. Along the x-axis, we see the month abbreviations as well. Take note to the drop down below the heading. It allows you to switch between monthly and quarterly sales. Notice the nice animations as the graph updates. That's all coming from D3. The use of D3 in this application will be done outside of the Angular framework. The reason is explicit. Ideologically speaking, you want to wrap everything in Angular and do everything the Angular way. Nevertheless, that's not always possible or realistic. Because of this reality, I have chosen to leave it outside of the framework, so you can see how you might separately implement a third-party library for a specific piece of functionality. You're going to learn how to build this graph. As we continue down the dashboard, we see different types of tabular data: best performing customers, all unfulfilled orders, and all recent orders. These are listings of data that might be very relevant to management. Notice all of them use tables, and those tables have built-in paging and searching. That's because I chose to use a jQuery extension called data tables. Now, the implementation of data tables is actually going to be through an Angular wrapper. This provides you with an example of how you might bring in a third-party jQuery library but use it the Angular way. Concreting the use of this wrapper is important though. The primary reason we can do this easily is because the wrapper already exists. There are times building your own wrappers just doesn't provide any real value. In this series, you'll get a chance to see both worlds. Now take note. Many people will argue that tables are bad. I'd say that's an ideology, not a reality. Tables are very valid display mechanisms for the right kind of data, and libraries like Bootstrap, which we're using, offer responsive tables. Moving on to all customers, we see a similar set of tabular data as we saw on the dashboard. This is a listing of all customers in the database. Notice, once again, built-in searching and paging for the data table. There are some other features built into this table that we haven't visited yet. Take note that I can change how many items I want to see per page. I can also sort on any of the columns, and the paging is modified automatically when either of those features are used. Moving on to the new customer screen, we see that we can add new customers to the database as needed. These customers have the basic data you might expect from a business entity. Take note to the icon, title, and color of the text here, because under the hood, this is the same form as the Edit Customer screen. However, when we edit a customer, the information changes just a little. Here we see we can add a new sale to the system for a specific customer. The customer drop-down is an example of how you would use the select element. The date picker is actually an Angular Bootstrap component. You'll get a chance to see how that works. Below the header information, you can add a new item, set the description, quantity, and price for that item, or even remove it from the list of items for this sale. Going back to all customers, we need to visit a few more features. Let's start with editing a customer. Notice that each row has an edit and sales link beside it. Clicking that edit link will take us to the edit customer screen. Remember I told you to keep in mind the icon, header text, and color when we were on the new customer screen? Well, here you see that we've changed those artifacts, but it's actually the very same template. Here you can make any changes necessary and then save those changes. Pressing cancel will actually take you back to where you were. This is also a feature you're going to get to build because it doesn't come for free. If we click the sales link, we see that a new list shows up under the customer listing all of their sales. Also notice the row we clicked gets highlighted. We are going to learn how to do these two things. Last, but certainly not least, if we click edit on a sale, we can edit the data for that sale. We could put this sale under a different customer, change the date of the sale, or even add, update, or remove items. We saw the application as a whole. In our next video, we are going to be discussing the business requirements for this application. A little hint, they will help identify what kinds of tests should exist.